Hi there, I'm Adrian Mack. I'm the movies editor at the Georgia Strait. This is my movie editor's hat, and I want to talk about our year-end top 10 lists. Our chief critics at the Georgia Strait have assembled their top 10 films of the year in this week's issue, and as always, it's an interesting mix. Blue Jasmine by Woody Allen is something they all seem to agree on. That's probably the top pick this year, along with Richard Linklater's third movie in his trilogy featuring Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke as a married couple. Before midnight in this film, they go to Greece and they have a couple of kids now and are probably a little bit too honest with each other. It's a great film. Gravity, starring Sandra Bullock, was another favorite amongst most people. Alfonso Cuarón's science fiction film is still playing in Vancouver, and it's well worth seeing. It's one of the few special effects movies out there that I would recommend anyway. Also making the list for a lot of people is Nebraska, Alexander Payne's beautiful and elegiac black and white road movie starring 70-year-old Bruce Dern, a film that reminded a lot of our critics of Hollywood films from the 70s and arguably a better time for film than now. We should also mention that Matthew McConaughey turns up on many people's lists because Matthew McConaughey, well, we live in the age of Matthew McConaughey. He's gone from being a not very good leading man in the 90s to perhaps being one of the finest character actors in American cinema for a long time. So both Mud and Dallas Buyers Club are two films he made this year, and he's magnificent in both of them. So you'll see that on the list. But here's what I think is interesting. A couple of our critics both chose David O. Russell's American Hustle and Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street. That ended up on a couple of our lists, and that's interesting because our chief critic Ken Eisner also reviews both of those films, which opened last week, and slams both of them, and that's why we love Ken. He thought they were epically immoral and overlong works of quasi-art. Let's put it that way. But anyway, I guess it's up to you to decide. We also have an interview with Oscar Isaac in this week's issue. Oscar Isaac is the star of the Coen Brothers Inside Llewyn Davis, a wonderful new film about the New York folk scene in the early 60s. And you can read all about that in the Georgia Strait. Thank you.
感谢收看今天的大温故事，我们下期再见。